said she's so happy to be here. Okay, so this is like coming to America. Bernie, this is her coming to America moment. Bernie says she is so happy to be here.
I am. So hey, look, one of my gifts for my Christmas. This is one of the best gifts ever. It's a coffee cup. I love it. I love coffee.
Here's Sean. Here's Sean. Here's Sean. Here's Sean.
I am. Let me get Kevin. Hey.
He's Kevin.
With that view.
Wait.
With that view. Oh my. I mean, look at that. People
So shy.
look at this view.
Yeah.
When you forget how beautiful nature is. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Hi, and next our celebrity host.
Yes.
Yes.
Peace out, everybody.
There you go.
Next year. Okay. Next year. We're talking about how we move from I to we. From I to we. Okay? It is critical that we move from I to we. If we do not move from I to we are not going to win this fight. Period. That's it. So what we're going to do is go through this. We're talking about multiple children lost today. We're talking about really just getting into a space where we can own our own stuff, as we talked about years ago. And we're also talking about how do we actually move and create a paradigm of love where your child is just as important as my child. Well, we know it's just as important, but it's on the same scale as my desire to have justice. My desire to have justice for Bernie's 3 sons should be just as fierce as my desire to have justice for my 2 children. The minute I see myself as a separate, distinct entity from Bernie and I have lost this fight together. Because the community at large doesn't look at our children in isolation of the group dynamic. They look at our children in response to the group dynamic, the group sense of empowerment. When there's no empowerment there as a group collective, collectively, we have no power individually. And that's what we got to get. And we have to understand why we do not think along that line. We claim we do. We make this, these sporadic claims. Oh, I love you, sister. I love you. Because we really don't. We really don't. If we get brutally honest, we really don't. And we fall into cliques. I know this person, I know that person, I know that person, and we name drop all the time to prove our value. Why are we trying to prove our value? If our value comes from within, holistically and honestly and truthfully, we don't have to drop anybody's name. We just don't, especially when fighting this fight. Because guess what? At the end of the day, when all of our kids are in the ground, they all have the same value. They're gone. They're gone. There's no grand seat on the damn Titanic, okay? Okay, there's no grand seat on the damn Titanic. And when we buy into that model, we're buying into the demise of the next person that looks like us, that walks like us, that talks like us, because there's no group collective and there's no group effort to eradicate this polarity, this injustice. So it is critical that we fight this through the same parameter, if not similar, as the Holocaust. We're not just talking about justice for my 3 sons, or justice for Jason, or justice for Aja, or justice for Lorenzo, or justice for Joseph. We're talking about justice for all of our people, collectively and collaboratively, justice. We're talking about eradicating the Holocaust, not just eradicating the systemic violence that robbed us of our individual children, but eradicating the systemic violence that robbed us of all of our children collectively in concert with one another. That's a big, 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 big difference. And now, outside of that domain, the antithesis of that, the opposite of that, is their system is intact. They fight collaboratively. They fight collectively. They can go home and feud and cuss each other out and cut each other down. The next day, one of theirs is dead. They are there down at City Hall together, not just demanding justice, but they're fighting to eradicate the polarities that have stolen their child comprehensively, economically, spiritually, psychologically, educationally. The whole system is overhauled to protect one of theirs. So this is not a fashion show. It's not a diva, we're not diva in this. Okay, it's just that simple. We're not diva in this. We're not promoting individual organizations. We're promoting the eradication of genocide, period. That's it. That's it. It's not about the stars we know or the personal friendships we make. Fuck that. Okay, I have to go there. Because at the end of the day, when our children are stopped And when they are assaulted, the individuals that stop and assault them don't give a damn about who they know. They don't give a damn about their socioeconomic status. They don't give a damn about who their parents are. They don't give a damn about their political affiliation. The bottom line is the skin they're in is enough to execute them. And that's what we have to fall in love with, the skin we're in. Period. Period. When you socialize this and staticize this, you are buying into the demise of our children. When you've got a click over here and a click over there, and I like this mother, I don't like that mother, I'm Facebooking. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. You have been socialized to sabotage and destruct and destroy your own damn community. You're tearing your sisters down, you're tearing your brothers down because you want to be in the limelight. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And you have grandchildren coming behind you? What do you think is going to happen to them in 10 years? We've got to get to the heart of the matter, and that means dealing with our shit. Our individual shit. That means your insecurities. Your need to be validated. Your self-hatred. The hatred of your sisters. The hatred of your brothers. The hatred of people that look like you. Because you have not learned to love you. That's where this fight really emanates from. You know, and so until we start there, you might as well forget about this. Don't be deceived by thinking that stars that jump in this fight care. Some of them do. And a lot of them don't. We have to care about each other. We have to love our children enough to have an honest conversation about our bullshit and divest ourselves from it. Take a fast from yourself. Take a damn fast from yourself. Fast for 30 days. Start for 7. From your bullshit. From your bullshit. From your narcissism. From your psychopathy. From your sociopathic bullshit. Take a fast from it. Step outside of your own selfish domain, even wanting notoriety, even wanting to be noticed as an organization. I know that we have to amplify this fight, but my God, really? Let's deal with a sincere motive. Somebody at the door. A sincere motive is we want to stop it. I don't give a damn if Aja's name never gets amplified. I don't give a damn if Jason's name never gets amplified. What I care about is 10 years from now when my granddaughter and my grandson are walking the planet, or 15 or 20, their ass is safe. Then my job would have been complete. Then my ass would have mattered. But beside that, the rest is, you know what it is. 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 If you're honest with yourself, you know what it is. You're not going to get your kids back by winning a popularity contest in this fight. You're not going to get your kids back by standing next to a star in this fight. You're not going to get your kids back by the mayor calling your name or a senator calling your name or a local church community giving you a damn award. You're not bringing your kids back through personal acquisition of accolades. It's not happening. And you're not saving future generations if you are traveling in that domain. It's not going to happen. Because this fight involves something that is free, and that's sacrifice. Sacrifice. You don't have to pay for that. Sacrifice. Sacrifice your own personal agenda. The glitz, the glamour, whatever the hell it is. Throw it over the damn river. Throw it, get rid of it. Force yourself to divest from your own image. And I swear to God, we could change it in 1 hour. So that's all I have to say right now. Peace and blessings, one love. I'm not, I just gotta be real. So. I'm sorry, Here we go. We're talking to Bernie. Bernie, tell us what it is like to lose as much as you can, more than one child, and to live in that reality in the midst of your daily struggle to acquire a sense of understanding about that loss from the community that you interact with.
I'm going to go back to the beginning when it happened. The thing for me, because I'm the mother of 3 sons that died, that was murdered 6 weeks apart. And the reality is that In that moment, it was 2005. In that moment,
Did you drink it?
at that time,
Yeah.
it didn't hit me that I had lost 3 sons because 6 weeks apart. Because the fact is that to wake up in the morning and have all your children with you is amazing. And to wake up I had 4 sons, and to wake up to this, to have 1 left, is unimaginable feeling. I had to imagine had to get money to raise up for a funeral because back then you wasn't expecting your child or children to be murdered at that time. And I'm going to talk about that, about having insurance. You must have that. I did have insurance, but at the time my sons was murdered, one just turned 18, one was 17, and one was 20. Had to sign the paper, so I had the papers ready for them to be signing, but didn't know that they was gonna be murdered. So they was murdered, so I had to get the money. So I couldn't think about what I had lost because I was trying to get money for the loss of my children. I was trying to raise money to bury them, and it was mind blowing. And I'm blanking in the eye of a blinking, like, really, is this? I'm living in a movie. I thought I was living in a nightmare. I thought I was in a dream. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even think. I laid in my bed. I had the shades down because when you lose a child, all you want to do is just lay in the bed, put your shades down, and just not imagine that your child or your children is gone. I laid in the bed, the routine where the police officers came to the house, detective, want to find the murderer, give you papers for the victim program, and I lay there in there day after day. I think it was a month later. I went and digged in the pile papers and I saw the victim. And oh my goodness, for me to go to court, I had to do a victim impact statement for each one of my children. Go in court and let them talk. I had to become my children. I had to have their voices heard. So I did an impact statement, and I had to tell the life of my child from when I carry my child to I bury my child. So I did. I stood up. I stood up in court, and I was reading my life of my child that someone murdered, and I'm thinking about it now, like, this years later. This is the first time I said that, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm replaying myself. And I stood up and I looked at the murderer. Because I went to court for my oldest child first, because it was 2 murderers, and his family was on one side, and I was on one side. My 2 sons that was left at the time, and I was sitting there with my sister Alice. I love you, boy. It's beautiful. And my nephew was sitting there, and I got up, and the murderers. I don't know. Right in my mind, when someone murder your child, the murderer want to become the victim, and you become the murderer. That's the role that it switches. Like, they become so innocent, they ain't did anything, and why is this happening? And make up all kinds of excuses. You're sitting in your mind looking at this like, excuse my language, bitch, you just murdered my child. Really? You killed my child. And this is to community violence, police brutality, all of that. You're really saying, this person done lost their damn mind. They want to have me go to court, have me sit up in court, sitting there wondering in my mind, is my ass in court? I judge them. And I'm going, their family sitting over there said that crazy that I lost this. What have you lost? You have your child. You have that person. I don't have that. You can go see your child. You can talk to them. And I'm sitting there looking at the murderer because I had to go to court 4 times. 4 times. So I was sitting there looking at it, and I remember the actual murderer, the person that the first guy was with him, and his family came in there. The first guy, his family was like, and then they and the strangest thing that happened to me, everybody want to know, do you know God? I have to know God to get through this. I know who God is. Yes, I do know God. Do you know God? So I was sitting there, and his mother, one of the murderer's mother asked me, can we pray together? Miss, I don't want to pray with you. I don't want to do shit with you. I want you to get away from me. So I was like, Miss, please, go ahead. So she moved on, and then I guess the grandparents, the grandmother of the murderer that actually murdered my oldest son, grandmama came in there because the murderer that murdered my son, his mother and father, his father died 18 years prior, and his mother died. They was on drugs or whatever. So he was feeling in his feeling at the time. But you're in your feeling, but you going out to murder somebody innocent that had nothing to do with that. So I'm looking, and he just smiling. He has a smirk on his face. What the hell are you laughing about? What's funny? You murdered my child. So his grandmother came in there crying over her grandson. I said, Miss, excuse me. I said, you're the grandmother of him. I swallowed. I said, you're the grandmother of him. Yes, miss. So she was like 80-something years old. I said, I don't disrespect old people, but she took me there. So I cussed her ass. I said, how dare you want to cry over your grandson? He's not a murderer. I said, that's his label or his name for the rest of his life. It's on papers. It's in his face. He's a murderer. You are a murderer. You murdered my child. There's no words that could explain what I'm doing. I say, after this is all over with, you guys get to live your life. You get to see your child. I will not. I would not. This years later, after my sons was murdered, I used to go to their gravesite. Like my 2 oldest ones was gone. And I used to go to their gravesite all the time. But after my 3rd child was murdered, I do not want to go to no gravesite to see my babies. I cannot do it. I don't have that desire to do it right now. I can't. It's too much bearing to imagine me going to a gravesite to see 3 children named something I had. The pain of losing 3 children, the pain, it's like the pain in my stomach boils me, and everyone, I'm a happy person. I really they see me crying, but this is Christmas time right now. My sons, my 2 oldest sons' birthday is in this month, a week apart. Randolph is next to the oldest. His birthday was Thursday, December the 13th. Linton's birthday, we call him Tony for short, is December the 20th. That's 5 days before Christmas. 5 days before Christmas. I had to deal with this. No more Christmas, none. I sit in the house, and I have a banner where I have their pictures up, and I talk to my kids regularly. They're still here. To get my mind right, to not think about that they're gone. So it hit me like Thursday. I was sitting on a chair, and I was getting ready to go on Facebook to do the memory of Randolph anniversary, and I thought about that. I said, 18. Wait a minute, 18. My child birthday my baby would have been turning 30 years old. 30. I'm like, 18 from 30. I'm like, I ain't old, y'all. I'm getting y'all that. I ain't old, y'all. I'm young. They actually was older than me. I'm still growing. So just let y'all know to get that out there. Don't count them days. Don't count them up at all. So I'm sitting there. I'm counting there, looking at his picture, and my son looked at me, and I'm looking at him. He laughing at me, shaking his head. I can see my little son looking at me. Mike, you know I'm doing. I said, count them up. I said, Randall. I said, Randy. Oh my goodness! And the memory came through my mind. I'm like, oh my goodness! And I heard one saying. He said, Mommy, I'm never leaving you. He said, I'm gonna always stay with you. And I thought about that. I said, my grandbaby and me. And I said, Randy, I miss you so much. And the tears start coming down. And Marion from Coalition of Concern, I love you, Marion. She called me and she asked me, she said, are you doing okay? I said, you know what, Marion? I'm doing all right, but I thought about it. I'm like, what in the hell? Somebody want to take my baby. All three of my children, all three of my kids gone. All three of them gone?
It's unreal.
It's unreal. I'm like, oh my God, I have three babies that's gone. Like really gone. So I looked around the room and I looked at my son, my youngest son picture. He's not with us. He's alive, but he's you know, every black child either they're in the grave or locked up. My baby locked up. So I looked at his picture and I was like, if anything happened to me, my baby is gonna be alone. It's gonna be alone in this world, and it's sad. And he always told me, he said, Mommy, I have no siblings, none. He said, you have siblings, I don't. So even though it's hard to me, I can't even imagine the pain that my only child left has. It's unimaginable. For multiple children lost moms, I think that our heart sit back as soft. The best way I can put it, we're soft-hearted. We sit back and we love. It's foolishness. Like no one has a voice for us. No one talks about the loss of multiple children lost from us. They don't know. We rarely get loud. We really don't want the foolishness because the greater loss for us is so painful to imagine that we lost one child.
Yes.
Just the gratitude.
To imagine to lose three children is mind blowing. And it's amazing that we don't lost our mind. We keep working. We constantly move on the move. We constantly has to do something. I found out last year that I had breast cancer. That ain't no problem to me because cancer don't own me. I own cancer. That word cancer, that's just a joke. You have to reach in within yourself and your mind and your body to move on. You never let it take control of you because cancer, it wants to run you. No, you run it. I wouldn't say I'm amazing to others. I'm just one of those mothers that like giving gifts, like making me happy because that gets my mind off of it. I miss my sons so much. It's like I have three children as triplets. And I use them as one, but now I'm kind of like want to use each one as their own person. My pain is so great for loss of 3 children. It's like a tape recorder in my mind. I miss my children every day. And if I go, I don't post as pictures as regularly. On Facebook, I talk to them like maybe put their pictures or update them as much. I know I amplify them, but I don't. And for some reason, they like taking pictures. I like taking pictures of everything, not just about them. But when it's time for them to be amplified, they will be amplified. My dream is to. For some reason, my sons want to be attached to younger people that's being murdered. I can feel my son's spirits. They want to get to the bottom of what's going on. Why is so many young men and this right here, the color of our skin, color of my skin. It's gonna be community violence, police brutality. However, they're both doing a race. It's competition of life.
Speak to that. That's critical, what you just said. That's what we're talking about. That's why we do Every Case Matters, so that we can eradicate that nonsense.
Yes, it's a competition of life. How can you have a race of life? Who lives and who dies in this world? And competition.
That you place value.
You put value on whose life, who need to be, what race need to be here on this earth. All of us is from one race. And I don't understand why so many of them, my children was young when they died. So now it's like I went out here and I think it was last year, a couple of years ago, I talked to a young person and I asked them, I go in the heart of Baltimore because I'm from Maryland, Baltimore City, and I asked, what is going on? Why is it that you choose not to think that a black life don't matter? Do you know the value? And at this time, I took, and they was looking, and I was talking to someone. So what I did was, and I might have to start back. At that time, I had to, because I had to go speak. I had, now when I went to go speak, I went in my file cabinet and I got the receipt from the funeral home. I got the pictures of my sons in the casket with me. And I showed them, I said, do you know what a life means? I had the pictures of the grave site. I had the pictures of what went on at the funeral. And I showed it, and the young person started crying. I said, this is a value of me losing. I said, and I showed all 3 of them because I had 3 death certificates. I had 3 receipts where I paid. I said, can you imagine? Imagine the pain, loss of what you're doing. I have in a file cabinet 3 receipts from a funeral that you have to show. Graves and stuff. Yes, I'm glad I took pictures of my son, because a lot of people don't take pictures of their children in the casket. No, I want you to see. I want you to see the horror, the pain that I lived, that I had to go through. And I showed them, I said, this is what it is. This is the value to me. This is what I go through. The aftermath of losing a child, a mother losing a child, is a fight. You put on your garment because now you're fighting. You're at war. It's war. You're putting on your garment to fight the person or persons that kill your children. And if you don't have that sense in your mind, snaps and stuff, and have that right sense to get out here and fight, it will take you under. It will take you out of here. So I cried. When I cried for my sons. I cried heart. My heart aches. My heart leaves my body. My heart. And because I grieve so much, and that's another thing, when you grieve so much, different side effects of illness come upon you. You can get cancer, you can get lupus, you can get hair loss, you can lose weight, you can gain weight. It's so much side effect, you lose your mind. That's the loss of one child. The weight of losing 3 kids is horrible. I just wanted to die and go to heaven and look back, ask God to, can you take reborn me again, rewind my life over again. That's the pain I feel. That's how I feel. Rewind my life back again. Because it's so much a great loss.
And how does it feel? This is the one question I want to ask you to hit as we wind this down, because we're going to do another interview later on tonight. But how does it feel to feel like the response that you get, not that we're worried about the responses, but the response that you don't get, I will say, when you mention you've lost 3 children, it's like, oh, okay, let me just go on to the next thing. You know, I'm worried about my kid over here. But did you just hear her? Did you just hear this woman say she lost 3 children? It's like, I've been in the room with you. I've been there among other mothers. And it's like, next mother, next mother, next mother, next mother, next mother. Wait a minute. This woman lost 3 children. Did anybody hear that? Anybody hear that? That's why I say we don't love each other. See, because this is why I say it. This is why I say it. People say I bitch and complain, I go off on tangents, but this is why I say it. You know why I say it? Because if we really loved each other, and you hear this sister over here say she's lost 3 children, you would stop every damn thing you doing.
Everything.
Every damn thing you are doing. Every damn thing you are doing. Every damn thing your ass is doing. And tap into the pain that this woman right here carries every damn day. That's why I say we don't love each other. I got the proof right here. How many organizations are even dealing with multiple children loss? How many? That's why I say we don't love each other. I don't have to fabricate this. It's in my face. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And we are the only group that functions like this. Anesthetized, immune, and totally out to lunch when it comes to each other's pain. But we'll jump up when the cameras come. Me. Really? 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 Is it really about you? It's really about you. And she lost 3 children. And how many more have lost more children? And it's just about you? It's so about you, huh? Really? Get the hell out of here. I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm not going to take, and I don't need a curse, but it comes to a point where we have to stop playing with this issue. This is ridiculous. And Bernie, the reason why I love you so much, and this has been from day one, is because I've lost 2 children, and we have a kindred spirit. I've seen you in